Hello, team trainers, captains, and coaches. This week's training topic is about ideal client profiles brought to you by Bold Growth Strategies. And this ideal client profile or persona is very similar to what HubSpot calls an avatar. It's the image or the visualization, the characteristics, the definition of the perfect prospect. These are people that are going to become your real customers down the road. And what I find is that most professionals, most salespeople don't have a very clear image. They don't have a very well defined idea of who they're looking for. So, as such, they typically struggle to convey that information. They come to networking meetings and they really don't say, hey, a good referral for me is, something like that. They don't have a clear definition. So, the first question on here is what is a clear definition of your ideal client and where do you find them? And what detail should you know? Now, there's a worksheet on there, but the analogy I usually use is this idea of a kudu. So if you were dropped off in South Africa and said, hey, it's time to go get kudu, unfortunately, I've double booked myself. I got a dentist that's coming over to hunt lions, and he's paid me $50,000. You've only paid me $10,000 to go get kudu. So you're on your own. I drop you off to go, hunting or take pictures or whatever of kudu. How likely are you going to be to get kudu? And the answer is probably not very likely. And depending on how much information I get you determines how successful you'll be, whether I give you a clear picture, maybe even a graphic image of it or not. I could just say, hey, it's a giant goat and kick you out, and that's what you might come up with. And this is actually not a kudu, that's a dik-dik. Very much more common than a kudu, but it is, in fact, looks like a giant goat with antelope horns. And I just didn't give you enough information. But if I gave you more detail, I could say, hey, it's a light sandy brown, kind of like a deer would be if you've seen those. There's stripes on it, vertical stripes down its back, usually 4 to 12 of those, and a white bridge across its nose. And they're pretty large. They're more like maybe even an elk size or a small cow. You would probably have a little bit better luck, but this might be what you come back with. Now, this is a doe, definitely a kudu, has the bridge across the nose, excuse me, but not the not a buck, and you'd probably go to South African prison for pulling a doe out of season or whatever crazy like that. But if I gave you the rest of the information, that the horns are going to have 2.5 spirals, they're going to be very long spiral horns. They're going to go 2.5 times around and be up to about 4 feet tall. The face is going to be much darker than the body. He'll stand about shoulder height to a man, weigh between 4 and 700 pounds, have those vertical stripes, and the bucks even have a mane down their back and a neck kind of like a Brahma bull, the big skin flap or a mane down the front of it. You might be more likely to come back with this guy, which would be a kudu and a trophy kudu at that. And I do find that the kudu or the ideal client persona for different entities, so B2B or business to business is different than business to consumer. Business to consumer has different criteria. And here's an example. This is for a life insurance company. A financial planner has this ideal client persona, and they give them a number of stars for how many of those they meet. So a 6-star prospect would be married, has a job, they own a home, they have children, they're between the ages of 25 and 55, and they live and they work in the Tulsa metro area. So a very clear picture of who they're looking for. And if they have a 6-star prospect, it's really who they'd like to meet. They'll meet with up to about a 2-star prospect, but below that, they're probably not going to meet with them. Now, here's an example of a business to business ideal client persona. And we're looking for job role, job title, how is their job measured, what's their day look like, where do they hang out, what skills do they have, what are their goals, what are their challenges, what type of companies do they work for, how many employees do they have, what industry are they in, what kind of revenue do they have, what kind of associations do they hang out, what kind of information do they need for their job, what kind of publications they're reading, what kind of blogs do they read, what websites do they hang out on. So there's a lot more information that we could gain on people or for our ideal clients that we could then go on to share with our networking group. So when we say in the agenda, the more clear we are, the more likely we are to get referrals because we know who to refer to them. We know who they're looking for. And if they're overly general, And they say crazy, silly things like I had a roofing contract, it residential and commercial roofing. It said anyone and everyone with a roof. And I had a skincare person say anyone with skin, and a dentist said anybody that has teeth or would like some. While those are really cute, they really don't give us enough information. In fact, they give us too many options. So if we have too many options, we typically think of no one. So it makes it very hard to hunt for them. So anyway, that's our topic for the week. Hopefully you'll be able to train with that. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, give me a call or an email. Glad to help. Thank you very much. Have an awesome week.